Hi everyone. Today I am going to discuss text file reading in Python. This topic will contain approximately 6 marks of your board exam, and today we will be learning how to do this text file handling questions. So the first thing which I am going to discuss, that is reading text files. Reading from text file, as we have done it earlier in Python, we can read text file using following methods. The various methods are there, and the first method is using read function. The read function is used for reading entire content of the text file in a single string. The second method is readline function, and this function is used to read one line at a time from text file. Third method is read lines, and you can read multiple lines at once, and this function reads the text as a list of lines, means all the lines you can read together, and it will form an array of strings or a list of strings. And the another method is reading one byte or one character at a time. This read method, and you have to pass n parameter number of characters, and this function will read one character or two character at a time, whatever you want. So this we can understand one by one. The first I am just explaining here, reading text file using read method. Now here you can see we are opening the file, and this my file.txt in reading mode, and the second line here we are executing read function, text equals to f.read. This f.read, f is the file object and the read is the function that will read entire content at once, and it will be stored in text string, and then finally you can print this string using print function. So this is how you have to read entire content at once. Now the second method you can see here, reading one line at a time. Here again f file object equals to open my file.txt in reading mode. Again same file I am opening, and in second line I am executing read line method, and this read line method will read one line at a time in this line variable, and then you can display this line using print function, and then at the end you have to close the file, you know it. The third method, read lines method, and here again same file I am opening, f equals to open my file, and then here I am executing read lines method. All lines you will read all together, and this will form a list of lines in this lines variable. And once you have created the list of lines, so you know how to iterate through these list, as you have done it in class 11th, how to read the list. So this here again we are using this for loop to read all lines one by one. For L in lines, this is the loop. L will take one line at a time from lines. Lines is the list, and then it will print L, means this loop will iterate through the list of lines, and it will display one line at a time, and then finally after reading all lines, close the method. Here you can see the another method, reading one character or one byte at a time, or you can also read 2, 3, whatever you want. So again same file I have opened here, f equals to open my file.txt in r is the reading mode again, and here you can see here ch variable is taking one character, it is reading f.read 1 means one character at a time. It will return single character, and then that character can be displayed here. So this is the way how you can read the file. 4 methods I have discussed you. Now I'll be telling you how you will be solving the question related to the board exam from these concepts. Here a sample question for reading a line, and this function is write a function to read a text file story.txt and display those lines whose first letter is H. It means you have to read all lines and you have to check for characters. So how you have to solve this solution will be like this. In this problem we need to read one line of text at a time and check its first letter, just like string handling, means reading one line as a single string and checking its first character. First character always stored at 0 location. So the same way you have to check it. Programming solution, you can understand it in better way. Here it is solution of the last question. The function name I have declared here, def show H, and here f equals to open story.txt in reading mode, and here I am reading lines equals to f dot read lines. Read lines function will read all the lines at once here, and it will form a string of lines. This list of lines will be created here, and then you have to iterate through this for L in lines. If this loop will take one line at a time, this loop will take here one line at a time from the file in L variable, and then L0 means the first letter of that particular line, and you are checking here if this L0 equals to H, then you will print it. The line which you are going to read, this will be checked, and if that line is having first letter as H, it will display that line, otherwise the line will not be displayed. And this is the way how you have to solve. This is very simple. Most of the things are similar to the list handling. Second question here, you can see read a function to function from the write a function to read text file story.txt and count number of lines starting from letter T. This is the similar question what you did in last slide. Here this time we are counting the lines, not displaying but the counting the lines. So here you can see you have to just define the function def count lines, and here you have to take a counter n equals to 0 to keep the track of those lines. And you can see here again f equals to open story.txt. So this is the statement. Every time we are repeating for opening the file in reading mode, and here you can see lines equals to f dot read line. So you can see here all the lines. This third line, this line will read all the lines in lines variables, and then you will iterate through the loop again for L in lines, and from this lines list one line at a time it will fetch in this L variable. And again similar way this you have to check if L0 equals to T, then increase the value of counter by 1, n equals to n plus 1, and then after completing this loop at the end the value of n we have to display like this print method, number of lines starting with T equals to n. So this is a similar to last, but this time we are just counting the lines beginning from this T character. So this is the question that may come in your board exams. Another example you can see for reading one character at a time. So this is based on reading single character. So this is the function to read a text file books.txt and count number of lines starting with R or T. Here this is the this is the question for you and you have to do on the basis of last two examples. Another question I am taking for reading one character at a time, and this is write a function to read text file book.txt and count number of I or I, capital I or small I. So this is single character reading function. So you will be solving this question like, means you have to read one character at a time, single character, and check for required character I using dynamic loop of this for loop you have to use. You have to take one character at a time and check whether it is I or not. So you have to see, you can see here solution. Here you have to define the function similar way how you did in last example. F equals to open books.txt in reading mode, and here you can see in text variable I am reading entire content at once using the read function. Entire content you are just taking it, and again you are taking a variable, and one letter at a time you are taking from this entire content. So for T in text is the entire content, and T will take one character from this text. And then you can see here using if condition you are checking if T equals to capital I or T equals to small I, n equals to n plus 1, and other at the end it will display number of characters, number of I's you can say. So this is very simple, and similar way you have to do these two questions. Write a function to count lines, number of lines found in a text file. कितनी लाइन्स है फाइल